going on. Quite the project ahead of us. We have a Fusion, but as you can see, it's already tinted. What? All right, so we got to do a removal and a retint. This was on the car already when he purchased the vehicle, and it's a pretty bad job. So what we can do is we can show you guys what makes a bad tint job, and then hopefully it's not going to be too much of a pain to remove. It doesn't look old and bubbled, so that's like silver lining right now. Hopefully it'll remove cleaner and quicker, but we could be in for a fair amount of glue removal here. So buckle up, buttercup. Headphones, let me grab those, because I don't have my headphones. So let me connect those, and then once I do that, then I'll be good. I should have done this before. And then source, turn that one. Hey. Good deal, what's going on? All right, that was painless. No, that's not the... I'm gonna put this up here. Okie doke. We got work to do, so I gotta get started. But not before I sip a coffee here. What's going on, Brad? How you doing? Things are going pretty well, except for the removal portion. It was just kind of funny. It was like I got here this morning, and there was a Fusion, and I was like, okay, no problem. And then I look, and it's tinted, and I was like, dang. I didn't know I was doing a removal, too. But that's okay. All right. Right. Check. 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 Sorry. That should be better. I had two audio sources there for a second. So actually, that means that I can change a thing here. I can turn this back up, and then I should be able to turn my alerts back up. Whoa. Okay, let's see if they work. Oh, hey, it does work. Nice.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Kumusta Master Mat salutations.
Daniel Reyna with the 10. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was adjusting audio levels too. Kumusta Master Matt. Salutations. Thank you very much, sir. How do I adjust the... Oh, I know how to do this. Okay. I can put that down a little bit and leave that one up. That should be good. Do you own the business? I do. I've worked hard. Worked hard to get it to this point. Lots of phone calls where people are like, oh, you're too expensive. But we're making it. Okay, so on this one, we need to do a full removal. So this was on the car already. So little things like a light gap right there, but big things like this whole corner peeled, an enormous amount of dirt here, and you can see this line of dirt that goes like all the way across. That's not great. Creases down here in the back window. Creases right here. Probably happened from like carrying it in. And then more dirt there, just kind of scattered throughout here and there. Mostly on the sides, and then another gap right there. So, super chat.
Dean Petrozevic super chatted $6.05. Good morning / afternoon, Tint God. And hello,
Dean!
Daniel.
Dean with the 8. Good morning, afternoon, Tint God. And hello, Daniel. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. 8 Australian from down under. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Alrighty, so we're going to jump right into this removal and get started. So we got the steamer already hooked up. Can you show us a removal with a heat gun? No? Sorry, I'm looking for something. I need my, what do I need? I need my tool belt. That's right down here. So a heat gun, or a removal with a heat gun is what I'll typically do if I don't have to bust out the steamer for the back window. But the thing about doing a removal with a heat gun is that most of the time, it just leaves glue behind. And with the steamer, there's usually more of a chance that the glue comes off. So we're going to do everything we can to kind of speed things along today. All I'm going to do with a heat gun is warm up the film as I'm pulling it. Same thing with the steamer, but it's a steamer instead of a heat gun. How do you handle a 60 60-inch roll of tint? Why are you using 60s? Don't use 60. Use like cut down rolls. 60-foot roll of film? Oh, 60 foot. Grip it tighter. I see what you're saying. I thought you had a really long roll. You have like a really long roll in a different way. Yeah, I usually have 100-foot rolls. Some of them are pretty slick. Some of them have a little static, so they hold together better. They left glue from like the Ford stickers right underneath. You have the little end part right there, and then you got some extra right there. It's probably a serious sticker. What a hack job. Look at this top edge. Disgusting. So what I'm hoping is the removal is just not too bad. It doesn't look that bad. Like the film doesn't look bad. This looks okay to me. I don't see any fading. I don't see any distortion. It came with the car. So like the previous owner, not factory tint. Super chat.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $4.99. Master Matt, when are you doing a vid using a torch?
When am I doing a video using... Thank you for that super. I don't have any plans to do a torch soon. But maybe in the near future. I don't know. I can appreciate it. It's just not something that I'll normally do on a customer's car. Mad respect to everybody that uses a torch. It's a hell of a way to shrink the film. It looks really impressive. The ways that I tint usually is more like, I guess the reason I haven't really pursued the torch so much is like if you're starting out and stuff, I don't want to see you using a torch anyways. So that's why we're always going to be pretty much using a heat gun. But we have played around with it in the past. So the difference here between a steamer too and the heat gun is I can create this water line on the back edge. So you always like warm the film up to like remove it. So with a heat gun, I'd just be holding a heat gun here, warming it up and peeling it. But the moisture from the steamer on the back side of the film sometimes will help take that glue off with the film rather than stick to the glass. So it's good to kind of keep it on the back edge. It doesn't always happen, but if you ever had a chance to keep the glue on the film, that will help it out. Yeah, this one's not too bad. This definitely feels thin too. This is what I would assume is a 1mm film. It just feels kind of tissue papery. Very crinkly. But this is good. So enough glue is coming off to where the removal's not going to take too long, but it definitely is going to take a little bit of time. Because if you go too fast, you start getting areas like that. Sometimes we get lucky here and the film just like pulls off the glass, but not in this case. So not as bad as some of you guys down south. I don't know how many bubbled back windows that I saw when I was in Texas. Man, they were absolutely everywhere. Brown film, bubbly tint jobs. It was just horrid down there. Whoa. Yee, I didn't know that was doing that. Sorry about that. Looks like the feed froze. Maybe from all the steam. Look, they even have a little gap on that quarter. They probably watched some videos. Nah, it's cool. Definitely not the worst job I've seen, but not one I would be super proud of. When you have like big areas of dirt and gaps. So like the difference is like this is mostly okay. Like you have a couple little things here. Like I have one little thing there, one little thing there, and then as you kind of get more towards this way, all of a sudden it's just like speckles, 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 and then just a wash over here of dirt. That is not acceptable. So it kind of goes from like you're like okay, where if you just had those couple little things here or there, on an average job. We don't do average jobs here. On an average job, you'd be okay. But as soon as it starts clumping up, that's where you're really going to have significant problems. Where'd you get the steamer? This is just a Walmart guy. I think it's Steam Fast. They used to have shark steamers there, but I haven't been able to find them lately. This guy, it's okay. He wheels around. The tank likes to fall off the back if you're not careful. Yeah. Just like... Not the worst in the world, but there's definitely things here like that just kind of scream like rushed or whatever. Not a lot of care was put into this job. So that's why we're here. We're going to fix it. So I've used these steamers, and then I've used the Jiffy ones. Jiffy ones will put out more steam, but I hate the bulky handle. So you're spending like $250 on it, and I just want to like chop the handle off. It's this crazy like wooden and metal handle. I like this. I like this a lot better. And it puts out enough steam to do the job. Ooh, shoot. We got a gap there too. So these Fusion windows, they do this. They rock back and forth. So you can see there's a gap there. So when you roll this down, you got a gap. When you roll it back up, oh look, the gap is gone. It's kind of a little funny thing. So you want to cut these just a little bit wider for that. It's not something that would be, I don't know. I think I've left those short before, but like a while back. And it was not something that I ever got a complaint about, but something to note. So now that you know, don't do it. This one's coming off easier. You can see I don't even have a lot of moisture on this side. Could be a difference between glues from the front to the back, because the front was a little bit lighter than the back. So, and then you'll see differences from one side of the car to the other, depending on sun exposure. Sometimes some will come off easy and some will be a pain, and then you go to the other side and it'll be opposite. I just got a Wagner 725 1 gallon 2 hour work time. Have you used the one called the Steam Blade? I haven't. I've used a couple of the pressure steamers. I don't know. I guess I wasn't super impressed with it, but I haven't tried a newer one. There was just an older one, and they put out lots of steam in like a gun type of fashion, so it was like, and it looked cool, but it wasn't really hot. So I could have my hand like here and it wasn't hurting at all. If I put my hand like here, I'm like burning my fingers. So it's something I'd have to try again. I'd have to go buy one. Unless Wagner wants to like just send one out for fun. It's just getting these. How much do you charge for this? So removals can vary a little bit depending on the amount of glass and stuff. So total job, we're doing carbon. We're charging, ow. Oh, I just burned myself. I think it was like $6.15 for this whole job here. Full removal, retint, and carbon with the, we're doing a windshield strip on this too. I almost want to just, I feel like I should take this off and apply a new one, because I don't like seeing it get wet like that and sit there. Especially when you have like softer, like different materials. So whatever this is more like, it's not leather, but it's like a softer, more unique material. And then you have the stitching here. So what I don't want to do is like, you'll see me use this stuff all the time, but what I'm always keeping like just in the back of my head is you can have water sit in between there for too long and then start to damage the panels. So that would be like if I went through a full removal and then came back. So it would like sit in there and like you just like a couple hours worth of time sitting in there, or an hour or whatever. It's just like, I don't like letting moisture sit on paneling like that for too long. So we'll put another piece of plastic down when we go to tint it. I've seen a video, Window Tint Warriors, saying they had something better than Glass Aid, but it's twice the price as Glass Aid. Yeah. Yeah, I caught that too, and it was had a little conversation because he called it Glass Aid on the site. Glass Aid is a product name, so that was kind of shitty to do something like that, in my opinion. So the difference, though, between those is Glass Aid is not 3M, and Glass Aid is way thicker. That is like a fine line 3M pinstriping tape, so it's very thin too. So like I said with pinstriping, if you want to use it just for the line, then get just cheap pinstriping. You can find it all over the place. You don't have to buy super expensive fine line tape. But if you want something that's going to protect the glass too, you're going to need something a little bit more durable and thicker. So, I mean, it's fine. It'll get the job done. For, I guess, adding a little surface in between there, and then you get to see the line. So, yeah, I don't mind if you like one thing better than the other. But yeah, that was definitely peeved me off a little bit. It's like people installing 3M film when they're not installing 3M film. They put 3M on everything, and then it's like, it's not 3M. Trying to piggyback off branding. Yes, this isn't too bad. Little steam. So as this dries out, little steam here, and it's staying dry there. So you're getting that glue to stick behind. Put some moisture on the back side of it. So get it hot underneath, and it's kind of just a little song and dance here. You get it hot underneath, and then keep that moisture on the top of it too. So it's a little bit easier in the summertime. Way more annoying in the wintertime with the glass being really cold. And you'll find that sweet spot. So it's not always going to be this easy though. And then I'm curious to see how this back window's gonna go. How's my baby doing? He's doing good. He's a little over 8 months now. He just started crawling a lot. So he went from like the army crawl to like the baby crawl. And now he's moving and jamming all over the place. Last night he woke up and was crying a bunch for like some unknown reason. I don't know. Took a little bit to get him to go back to sleep, but he's doing good. He's just up a little late last night. And then after the stream yesterday, it was cool. Ooh. A little gap there, that's no good. See, that's something you're gonna see all the time. You can't leave that. That's no good. Just like, every time you look over on the passenger side, you see that little gap there. That sucks. But yeah, it was cool. My wife said he saw me on stream, and every time he saw me pop up, he was smiling. And I was like, oh. It was cute. Gotta get this hot, and I don't want to burn my fingers off. Yeah, this one didn't remove quite as nice. Oh, I gotta find some spaces for some things. Can't wait for Glass A to get back in stock. Yep, you and me both. They grow up so quick. You know, that's what they say. And it's absolutely true. It was like, I remember it's like 2 or 3 months, and it's like, wow, really? 3 months old, and now 8? And it's just like coming up on a year this November, and it's, whew. God, this roll is so much different from the other roll. Same shelf, same name, same product, way different. I like the other one better. It's thinner. Sticks a little better and easier. Oh, the little windows are the hardest. So yeah, it depends on the car. They definitely take time. On these ones though, they got enough of a gap around the whole thing where they're not too much of a problem. You just gotta like slow down a little bit. Get your cuts pretty exact. Ooh. Ooh, okay, that is just, look, we got like right up to there and then it just, that is significantly worse than the other side. That is a bad cut. Somebody tried their little heart out on this car, which is cool. But yeah, that's not great. No, this was a job we did last week. No, I'm kidding. How much for this one? Ow! God, I did that again. I steamed myself with somebody after me. This one's a little over 6. Full removal, and then we're doing carbon, and then we're doing a windshield strip, which I actually have to remind myself about the windshield strip, because that is something I don't do super often. So it's like I get through the car and then I'm like, okay, I'm done, and then I pulled many a car out and then gone on to the next project, and the customer comes to pick up their car and they're like, windshield strip? I was like, oh no! Hot. Very hot. This one's coming off probably the easiest out of them though. The other one's not too bad. This one seems like it's a little better. But then we got the rear quarter and the back glass, so. What else do you do with this space? Not much. Storage and storage. Sometimes I'll wash a car over there. But yeah, it's mostly just straight in that spot. When I was moving here, I didn't need this much space, but there wasn't exactly much available with a garage, and that was really unfortunate. The space. Ooh, they got a light gap there. Oh, that sucks. If you're gonna put a light gap, do it up here, because you're not gonna see up there. That's bad, because it's like you have all that room around the window, but when you you're always looking. You're on this side of the car, and then you're looking out the back window towards that way. So having a gap there is like one of the worst spots for a back window. You'll always see that. Just like little gap on that quarter up there. This space is $2,400 a month, just for the rent. Electricity is like another $2 something, and then internet's another $250, because I needed the fastest upload speed, which is 40, which is sad. I have a gig down and 40 up. Like, come on now. I'm paying 80 for the same speeds at home, but because it's a business class internet. And it's only business class because it's in a business. building. Has nothing to do with it. Ugh, so garbage. Is there a chance the protective film is fading faster than the tint itself? In a way, yeah. So you can have film delaminate on you, but it's just failing altogether. So you're gonna want to redo that. What? It's better there in the States. So the rent here for 3,300 square feet is like, that is not bad. But it's just, I didn't need 3,300 square feet. And so you're kind of like paying for extra space. But the space altogether is cheaper in comparison to some other places that are the same square footage. Any opinions on Air 80? I used it years ago. It's probably changed a little bit. It was good. Blocked a fair amount of heat. Had an interesting blue tinge to it. So if that's what you were going for, like at the time, there wasn't quite anything else like it. I haven't used it lately though. So I don't know if there's any significant like heat reduction improvements to it, but it's really just a way to like have the same effect. Like, so we did 70 on a Durango windshield yesterday. So similar percentage, just more clear, just like not colored. So if you like that color, then you'll like it. Do you know if Geo takes returns? I'd call them and ask them. If you use the film, then no. But if it's like unopened, undamaged, and stuff like that, then maybe. Probably on some level. I don't know. They make people happy, so. Ooh, I like this. This is good. Who tinted it? I have no idea. Somebody tinted it that unfortunately didn't do a great job. Who tinted it and what film? Like, those are the unknowns when you're buying a car with tint. Unless the owner happens to tell you, like, yeah, this is a receipt and this is where I got it done and whatever. But more often than not, it's like somebody just gets a tint job and then whoever is buying the car doesn't have any great information on what was installed before. Because, like, it's not something you necessarily think of when you're buying, like, a secondhand car. You're just, like, more interested in the car itself. And what you can get for it, and like the tint is something that you'll if you need to fix it, you'll just worry about later. Here, let's go around this side because we're running out of extension, or it's caught up somewhere. Come on, little steamer. Yeah, cars that are already tinted, it's just part of the job, though. You do the best you can to kind of cover yourself on, like, possible time and work that's ahead of you, so it just impacts the whole day. Some of them go fast, and some of them do not. So, like, we had a 1 o'clock appointment, and this one unfortunately got booked. And then last night added, I guess, 2 front doors at 1, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make that happen, I don't think. Depends on how this removal goes, but I won't know until I get into it. So, looks like we'll be fine, but a little bit later than 1. But I've done removals where they'll take like 4 or 5 hours. Do you razor? We're gonna let this just sit here for a minute. The longer the back window sits, the better. Do you razor the glue off a back window? No, do not take a razor blade to a back window. So on a back window, you're gonna wanna use something like this. So there's a few things that we can use while that thing's baking, and there's things that we can talk about. So there are three main types of adhesive removers, and there's also a few different types of scrub pads that people use. So we actually have a whole bunch of stuff that we can kind of talk about for removals. So when you're trying to remove glue off of back windows, the tri-edge scrub it, that's what this paddle thing is here. It comes in a green and a blue. The green scrub it was designed for everyday glass cleaning and light-duty scratch-resistant pad in tan. So that's what these are right here. These are the replacement pads that they sell. So these ones are lighter, which is good that it tells me here, because it doesn't mark it on the packaging. So I didn't remember which one was lighter or which one was more aggressive. The tan ones are lighter. I like the look of the green better though, but we have the blue one out right now. And the blue ones are more aggressive. But they're both glass safe, so these are really good. Also, these are the 3M white scrub pads that have been very popular for a long time too. So if you like these, you can get them. And if you like the scrub it, you can actually just put one on here, cut it out, and then these pads just Velcro onto the scrub it. So these are replaceable. Now, that's scrubbing pads. Now, what you're going to want to do for a removal is obviously steam the film off, get all the plastic off as best you can, because if you leave like a thin layer or little pieces and stuff, the adhesive removers are not going to get in there. So if you have glue that's left behind, which is usually more often than not, you're going to be using any one of these three things right here. So we have ATR. We have Epic Orange, which is Fusion's adhesive remover. And then we also have Awesome, LA's Totally Awesome, which you can buy at the dollar store, actually. This is actually also at Home Depot, I think. But this stuff works really, really well for adhesive remover. And my second favorite is honestly the ATR. I've been using ATR for years. A close third is the Epic Orange. It does work, but more often than not, it's got like a different smell to it, but more often than not, ATR seem to tackle more situations than that. That was just for like automotive glass. Architectural is going to be different. So those are the main three that you're going to want to use. I'll have links in the description too, coming up after the live stream and stuff on where you can get that type of stuff. But any one of those should do the job for you. So we're going to be removing all this film. And then afterwards, we're going to spray it. And then we're going to scrub it down with one of those paddle scrubbers. And then squeegee it off. And then after you do that, hopefully you have a nice clean back window. So this is the real tedious part. If you can get the film off, you'll be real happy. The hardest part is always getting the film off. So getting the glue off is still work, but it's at least like, okay, I know I have some chemicals and some elbow grease, so it's done. But if I have like a third brake light in the way and all of a sudden the film tore completely around it, then I have to either be really creative about removing that, or I have to disassemble the deck lid and then, yeah, that's not fun. And then for you guys that are like really down south, sometimes it's not worth the time or the price. You can get a back window replaced cheaper than you could removing all the film. But up here in the north, these are most of the removals that we have to deal with. We'll still have plenty of bubbly film. But down south, you generally have like super flaky old removals, or like just toasted removals that are not gonna come off easily. So in that case, you'd either scrape it or replace the back window. Let the customer decide if they want to keep their defroster lines or replace the back window. And don't be afraid to like just kind of like, hey, that's just kind of what it is, because the unfortunate reality for customers and tint shops is getting a car completely removed and re-tinted is going to take longer than just tinting 2 cars. So there's that unfortunate bit. So that's why removals can also be so expensive. Because they can be very time consuming. So I gotta extra clean the glass to make sure that this is gonna turn out right. And then I could always miss something and have to redo a window too anyways. That's factual. I'm in Austin. A lot of very old film. Yeah, I just came back from Houston, and I have never seen so many brown bubbly tint jobs. I don't know what it is about them being brown now, but oh my god. They are beat to hell, but it was man, it was hot and humid down there. It's the middle of July too, so like I figured, but like, whoa. What was that? Please, I need information. What info? It's those $99 tint shops. Man, I would do so well down there. I don't want to do removals, but like, holy shit. Just the amount of work there is to redo. And like, I don't care if you don't want to spend the money to get it redone. But like, man, there's a lot of content down there for removals. So I've kind of like worked this last section into like a little hot pocket here, where the outside is cold and the inside is boiling lava hot. And that'll help with the rest of this removal, and it'll help just kind of like keep all that steam in there, and then you start burning your fingers right towards the end. But there we go. So we don't have much glue left behind, but we do have a little bit. So we're gonna take some of that adhesive remover here pretty quick and have at it. So luckily we don't have a brake light on that, and the rest of it is going to get scraped. All the side windows will get scraped thoroughly. They're not bad though, but I think there's 2 ways you can do it. Usually doing it, it's a little, I guess, I don't want to say more dangerous, but you can be really thorough, sit there and scrape all the glue off, and then cut your patterns and then tint it. And I'll do that for the back glass before I prep it. But on the doors, you can, if you have some light glue removal, you can kind of do that after your patterns are all cut to kind of just keep going. That steamer right there was $60 from Walmart. You don't need to spend a lot of money on a steamer to get a decent removal. But it can, some of the better steamers, I don't know, I'm iffy on them. I don't like the handles. I want to cut them off. That one I've got this nice, like it had a plastic handle. I chopped it off because it was only $60. Like I don't care. And then thinking, because I'm pretty sure somewhere in here is oh yeah, it's gonna be in here. Oh, I still have more tools, by the way. Not every tool got put in this box, but all the main stuff did. So here in my little bag of goodies, there should be a sprayer head. Cool. We're gonna use ATR this time. I haven't used this stuff in a minute here. I had Awesome for so long. But I don't get removals that often, so we're gonna use ATR. See, top pops off. I suppose we have to open this up. Aha! There we go. How much do you charge to carry out a job of this type? A lot of questions on the expense. So, the removal charge is kind of separate, and some people charge by the hour and whatnot. This one's gonna be $6 for the whole, like a little over $6 for the full job. We're doing carbon and a windshield strip and a full removal. So just kind of spray everything down. Take a deep breath outside the car. Oh my God. Or wear a respirator. Because sometimes this is, on hot glass, this is going to be evaporating. I haven't used this stuff in a minute. ATR was one of the lesser ones though. It wasn't really like, it doesn't have an offensive smell to it. It just kind of smells like some type of a cleaner thingy. That's why I mentioned Epic Orange. It doesn't have a bad smell. It's just very unique. I don't even know how to describe it. But it smells like it kind of hang around a little bit. I don't know. There were some of the orange chemicals, like citrus-based chemicals. I used concentrated degreaser, and boy, let me tell you, the air was spicy in there. Oh, I can imagine. Purple super clean's got to be scarring my lungs. Oh, you guys. Oh, that's hilarious. You guys know exactly what I'm going through right now then. So this stuff isn't that offensive really, but it's not like we just used a steamer, so the glass is warm, but it's not like baking. So it's not like I just brought it in here, left it outside in the sun, peeled it and sprayed it and evaporated, or in a hot garage, so. I think that's pretty much it. I think we just removed all the glue with that. So, not too bad. I like ATR. I've been using ATR for a very long time. I just got sidetracked with Awesome because it's like, it's so easily available. Like you can just go local, pick it up. But I think ATR is a little bit more consistent. But no matter what, also your hands, you're gonna hate your hands at the end of the day because they're just gonna be dry. So I would recommend to wear gloves too, if you want to keep any moisture left in your hands too. Oh, this one's horrible. Don't buy this squeegee. This one's terrible. Keep it for flat glass, but yuck. I like the green one. I just don't want to keep finding that one. Forgot to remove the defrosters. Yeah, we try not to do that here. So I actually might put ATR in a scrub pad for the doors, but you should usually just use a razor blade. Sometimes it's just, you could be a little bit more thorough with that, but don't use one little disclaimer here, don't use adhesive remover on the doors. It'll just make it gooey and kind of melt down the paneling, and you don't want that. Only save the adhesive remover for like the back windows and stuff that you can't really scrape. So like windshields, I won't use it. Doors, I won't use it. Only for back windows because I can't scrape over the defrosters. What do you think about scraping with plastic scrapers? You should be okay with doing that. I haven't really liked the plastic scrapers very much, but in some situations I've seen videos posted and they look like they were working really well. So when I use like something like this, like a plastic scraper, so something like this, Gator Blade, I love these things and I use these on the doors. They're not as great for all adhesive. So like if the adhesive's really stuck on there, you'll scrape some of it off and it'll leave little bits behind. But with a razor blade, you're usually good with like scraping around the whole thing. So that's why I kind of I'll spray it and then use scrub pads instead. But you definitely could go over defrosters with the plastic ones and you'll be fine. Clay bar is about as good as a plastic blade. They have their own unique helpfulness for, but I'd use a plastic scraper over a clay bar for like, whoa, that was a weird one. I'd only use a plastic scraper for like glue rather than a clay bar. If I remember correctly, I think that these ones kind of bend down here a little bit. We can also shut this off. The turn dial fusions have a little more flex in the back window here. So like, yep, right there. So the little thing about the fusions, we should probably make sure that there's no glue down there too. There's like 2 different types of deck lids on these. There's probably more than that, but 2 main types. One of them, like if you have the old style shifter, then this deck lid like pinches really tight right there. And then when they came out with like the turn dial ones up there, they did something to give them a little flex back there. I don't know what, but hey, I'll take it. Much better. But I'm glad we got all the film off and we got the vast majority of the glue off. We still have a little bit of work to do. Do you give your clients anything? No. Just a good tint job. They leave with that. I should. I need some extras. So, I've been so scattered with a bunch of other things that need to always be done. So, there's little things that always get kind of forgotten, and that is something that I need to put some work into because it's like the business side of it is like on par with like all the other stuff about it, like the streaming part and tech difficulties, and then I was going to the glass shop, and then I have orders to fulfill, and then I have family. So it's like there's all these little things that fall by the wayside. But I should do something here. Oh, we should probably tape these too. See, like that. I forgot to pick up extra tape yesterday, so we're using what we have. But we will tape them with something. I didn't want to tape them until everything was removed, but the tuck tape sticks better. How do you avoid neck and back pain? Funny you mentioned that. I actually, I threw out my back doing windshields not too long ago, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, I did something that tweaked it, and it's better now. But it was kind of rough going there for a minute. No, I was actually doing windshields. Windshields, like, because you're kind of like leaning up. Back windows were fine for me. Windshields were like, ugh. And then sometimes your hands, like doing this for a long time, like you can kind of like freak out your hands a little bit with all like the hand cutting and stuff. So, hey, plotters, there you go. Actually, no, you're trimming all the extra out with a plotter too. So, yeah, that's kind of 50-50 there. Where's the tuck tape? We're out. We're out and we need to order more. I just forgot. Has the alligator sent you Expo yet? No. Why don't you use a plotter? Patterns. Hand cutting is always more consistent. And it depends on your workflow. So if you're just getting more work done and you're kind of, you want to like make things a little easier on yourself, plotters are a good way to go. They're very useful tools. It's just sometimes the patterns will really let you down. That's the nice way of saying that. They drive me batshit crazy sometimes. So being that a lot of the time, like we spend some time, we stream, I don't have much use for a plotter. But they'll definitely help you out more on like back windows and stuff. It's the doors where they like fall short a lot of the time. I regret buying pre-cuts. Pre-cuts can like, when you're, so in the beginning, plotters can be a really helpful tool to help you learn. It's a little bit of an investment, obviously, because plotter and software monthly, you know, it adds up. But you're taking a big step out of tinting, so you always have patterns. And when you mess up, it's really quick to try and put another piece on there, because you can just plotter cut it out. You're going to be wasting a lot of time just trying to hand cut properly. So it's a lot of steps to learn. However, you can also cripple yourself by only using a plotter. So you definitely always need to know how to do both. There's just situations like a new car comes out and the patterns aren't in your software yet, or they're just not right. And you have to make adjustments, or your internet goes out, or this was a really annoying situation. Tint Tech couldn't fix our billing cycle for whatever reason. So like, God, this would drive me crazy. Every once in a while, the 31st of the month or the end of the month would be on a Saturday. And their billing was like the next day or something like that, like on a weekday. So it's like our software would expire on a Saturday, and then we couldn't call them because they took Saturdays off. And then we would tell them, we're like, hey, can you adjust the billing cycle for us, please, so it doesn't expire? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, we can do that. And then it would happen again. Oh, it was so infuriating. And they're all like software locked, like internet locked too. So if you don't have internet or something happens with that, then you're just locked out of your software. Good times. I noticed with the tuck tape I could. What would happen with the what would happen with the tint if you don't shrink it? You're just gonna have a really bad install. It's not gonna lay flat on the glass. Oh, we turned that back on. Okay, cool. We can just set this over there now. We're done with you, Steamer. Thank you for all your hard work today. We need, what do we need? We need the squeegee blade, that's for sure. And then the system we use now, sometimes it cuts it short. Sometimes it cuts different. It sucks. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of overall get used to being with rough patterns sometimes. Okay, so what are we doing? We're doing carbon. Where's carbon? All the tint sold in local stores don't tell you to shrink. They have some of the most miserable, like, oh God, I want to do a video where I watch the Gila installation videos. Their architectural installation videos looked good, actually. Their automotive installation videos were god awful. They spend 2.5 minutes out of a 5-minute video giving you like disclaimers And like, if you need support, feel free to call us, and like all this extra garbage. And it's like, okay, now we got 2 minutes left in the video, and now we're gonna get into how to install our window tint. Okay, sure, sounds good. Okay, so we're doing, I gotta remind myself, because I just had like a brain fart on this one. We're doing 20 on the front doors, and we're doing 5 on the back. So I grabbed the 20 for the front doors, which is good. But I gotta remember that I'm doing 5 on the back. Yeah, we started this place last year. We're doing significantly better this year than we did in our first year. Well, yeah, that is the first year. You might say like, oh, he's got a channel. Well, I fucking did marketing. Nobody knew who I was, though. That was a funny thing. Tinters knew who I was. Local people had no idea who I was. They're just learning. This is actually a 40, but 36 would be fine to do exactly what I just did. You can split it in half. Just something weird about the carbon. So we should have extra, too, for those quarter windows right there. We can't get extra from the back glass on these front ones because we want to do 20. Have you tried double shrinking? Yeah, and it actually works fine. Are all carbons rubbery? No, this stuff actually is not rubbery. I really like the feel of this stuff. I know what you mean about the rubbery feel of the older carbons, and then sometimes when you put like a little defect or something in it, like if you had like a small crease or something, it would just like, there was no way you were pushing it out. It was just ruined. Really hard to recover on those ones, yeah. This one's much more forgiving. And you don't have the haze problem. A lot of the older carbons are. That's one reason I took on Geo, was I saw a really healthy spot for carbon here, where you save a little bit of money, and you get 50% heat reduction, and no worries about dye failures down the road. It's just one of those, it just fit a really nice sweet spot here. Heat rejection is not the first priority for everybody in Michigan. Go figure. Max Pro is totally green. Like, they're green like their boxes are. I don't know why they love green. But I don't love that in a film. Is $250 for ceramic a bad price for a windshield? No, not at all. I charge you the same. So you could come here. Just make a long drive, probably. Oh yeah, but as far as double shrinking, trying to remember why. I never really made it a habit, and then there was a film I did it with, and it would make these scary like popping sounds. And I just never really did it. So that's why you always see me kind of individually shrink windows. But there's no reason you can't just snap 2 of them together. Sometimes it'll be a little slower or something, but it'll work fine. You'll be good. Okay, so we got a couple of patterns here. There's the potential for scratching a liner, yeah. That's one reason why not to do it, depending on like how you have your pattern set up. when I try to double cut, it keeps shifting the film. Maybe a little less soap and get a good squeegee blade. What squeegee blade are you using? I found that that actually impacts it a little bit too. So I was using, I don't even know why, but like, so the way that I set up patterns is I have the film facing normal, and then I'll back layer it the opposite way. So film is facing outside on both times. I would actually recommend doing it the other way. The only reason I do it this way is it saves me just a little bit of time. Blue Max. Blue Max is still a good blade. Nah, it like probably just a little too much soap, causing everything to kind of slide around too much. Okay, now we need the 5. No slip, straight water. I don't believe you. Oh, no, somebody's saying, okay, I read that wrong. Yeah, probably just a little less soap. You don't need to use straight water, but I use the same slip solution on one side or the other. But you could try flipping them the other way. But there was a point in time that we had some issues with the ceramic sliding around a bunch, and I haven't had that, and I didn't really change anything. I really just I don't know, I have the hybrid blade, and that seems to work really well. But Blue Max is still a solid blade too. Maybe it's just gotten worn out. Okay, so now we have 5 on the back, which is good. And these windows, remember, they shift. So what we're gonna do super slip. Oh yeah. Which I still use. I don't know. I can't describe it. Sometimes you just use something new and then you just have weird problems. I don't know. So we're gonna just shift this over a bunch more, so then we don't have a gap when we roll it down. With blades, I'm using NTs. We might switch back to Olfa here. Their stainless are starting to rust, which makes no sense to me. Is Geo cheap? No. No. I got my first Pro Nano Geo roll, and on the liner side it has a rainbow effect. Is that normal? On one side there'll definitely be more of a rainbow. So this is with all films. Whenever you have the film out and you're looking at it under a interior light, you're gonna see a rainbowy hue. When you put it on the inside though, you don't see that anymore. That's with every film. You'll always notice this interesting rainbowy effect. Some will be purpley green, some will be just different colors. But yeah, it's almost like an oil slick look. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I'm using the NT blades, and I really like them. Still really like the sharpness, and I'll probably still use them. Maybe I'll give Olfa another shot. But what was kind of annoying to me was I had a blade left in here, and they're starting to show printed NT And then they also have stainless on it. And then they showed little rust spots after use for the day, like they weren't stainless. And it's like, wonder what changed then, because that's a significant change. Still felt good, just like, a little worrisome there. Yeah, let's do this just that little bit. Maybe we got counterfeit NT blades, but they're high quality counterfeits? I don't know. See the way that peeled away? That's why I do it that way. Just that easy. Do you find ceramic more difficult to shrink? Geos? No. No, Geos is actually easier. That was what was really unique about them too. Their film across the board, I think the slowest shrinking one is the carbon. So you'll see on this back window. But on the Pro Classic and the Pro Nano, they're very fast shrinking films. The carbon is still a very good shrinking film, and it's still quick. But it's like, if you put them side by side, I'll be trailing behind a little bit with the carbon. Much better than the rubbery carbons, though. Where can I get the NT blades? SunDistributingDirect.com and Tint Depot. They both stock them. All right, so we're gonna snap it. What squeegee is that? Oh, I use a lot of different ones. Everything I got though is from Tint Depot and Sun Distributing. So the handle and the squeegee blade, those are both by Fusion. They have a whole bunch of squeegee blades. I can show you in a minute though. Yeah, the Fusion hybrid is really, really good. I like all the Fusion blades one way or another. The hybrid's the most expensive, and the only reason that I'm really like settling back to it is I think I've got a way to kind of keep it sharper for longer too. I think it's the best material, but I think I have a way to keep it fresh for much longer. If it's not there, check out Sun Distributing. One of those two places is guaranteed to have it. I know because I just bought it at Sun Distributing. I like them. I like Tint Depot, but that happens more often than I realized. So, the squeegee drawer. So, this is the hybrid right here. I have one of them that I'm using right now, and then I bought every Fusion blade and then both of the Blue Max versions. So, Redline, we still have to play around with this. I like to flat out for a very long time. Orange Crush is a pretty popular bet. Clear Crush, like that one too. We haven't tried this Blackout PPF one. We're going to try it for kicks and giggles. And then I haven't ever tried this one either, which is the Clear Max, which is the basically softer version of the Blue Max by the same company. So, and then I got all their little turbos because they look nice. What time is it? 12. Oof, it's 12? Oh, God. Okay, we're doing okay. Glad we pushed that one off till 2 then. Patterns, getting to installation. Where did you get that? So, thank you. I'm glad you like it. So all the squeegees, like, they'll have them at Tint Depot and Sun Distributing. So I bought these ones. Sun Distributing is pretty local to me. I worked with those guys when they were making Sun Distributing, before they were even a distributor. Like, I was working with those guys. So watch them come up, and it was really cool. But the squeegees were all bought from there. Actually, most of the tools in there were all bought from there. And the box is a U.S. General from Harbor Freight. I got the white one because it looks so clean. So we're gonna make some rearrangements with that drawer, by the way. So right now it's a beautiful tool display. But I'm gonna have some of them preloaded in like shorty handles. So we're gonna make some adjustments. Looks really professional. It does. It's like a brand new fisherman's tackle box. Yeah, so I wanted to make, I think, like, so part of it solves a problem for me. So you guys know that when I get behind on comments or something, or somebody super chats, I'm always running to the other side of the car. And running around the car will waste so much time. And you guys see me, I'll misplace a squeegee or something, I'll put something down, and then I'll spend a couple minutes looking for it, and I'll just make like laps around the car. The more you do that, the more time you waste, and you will waste so much time so fast. So if you can stay methodical and just kind of keep pace around a car, you'll save so much time, you won't even realize how much time you save. So the goal with this was to design a really handy toolbox where I'm not going to, ironically, I don't know where the scrub pad is, so let's open this one. I'm not going to misplace stuff, and I'm always going to have things on both sides of the car where I can just grab it really quick and keep going, so I don't have to make a lap around the car again. That is the goal of that box. So we'll have setups on both sides. And I got so many different squeegees because what I was going to do was I was going to make a display wall too, so that's what that shelving is over there. And then I'm like putting squeegees in the toolbox, and next thing I know, this toolbox is completely full of squeegees. And that was like all the squeegees. I spent like $1,200 on like tools. And I filled a toolbox. I'm a little sad. So we'll I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then if you guys have questions between one squeegee and another, hey, I might have them on hand now. I remember when the black one came out, I had a lot of questions about that. Was that the owner? Yeah, the owner of this car, yes. Yeah, he's actually waiting through the full job. He drove pretty far to be here, which was really cool to see. That's been a trend lately, which is surprising, but very cool. Drove like 70 miles to be here this morning. What would you suggest for tint solution? Baby shampoo and Dawn. Both of them work great. Baby shampoo is used by tons of professionals. There's a whole bunch of soaps that you can actually use for tint installation. It's just that's one of the most popular ones. It works the best. So if you're just looking for a easy home method, that's a good one. Get a heat gun though. There we go, everything's covered, that's good. So if you remember, we had a gap on the front edge. I actually would accidentally do that because I would think that it's all the way tucked in, and then it wasn't. So that was always no fun there. How many times have you sharpened that blade? I haven't. This one's brand new. Now, if you want to ask, oh, where is it? It's somewhere around here. Jose!
Jose Reyes super chatted $10.
I got it around
Thank you,
here
Sensei
somewhere.
Matt, for your lessons/tips. Watching your videos and seeing the quality of your work makes me strive to be even
Jose
better.
with the 10, thank you.
Thanks to you, I've gotten so much better.
Thanks for your work, your lessons, your tip, watching your videos, and seeing the quality of your work makes me strive to be even better. I've gotten so much better. Dang, that's a really nice one. Thank you so much. What squeegee handle do you use? I use the Fusion Shorty. I'll second that. Thank you. The Fusion 5 and the Fusion Shorty, both of them are awesome. That's like one of the original things that they're known for, is the handle. How do you feel about glueless static cling tint? It's just different. You're not going to be able to use it for automotive in the same way that you use an adhesive film. It'll serve its purpose if you just need something to like slap on and then remove, but you're not going to be able to leave it on a car the same way. And they usually have like, some of them have like a foggy adhesive. So you're not even going to be able to really use it and like see out of a lot of them. Better off using just regular cheap tint and then in that case. You know what? Cheap tint's not even cheap. I should make a video on that. Got it. Cool. Yeah, I like this blade. This blade works really well. They say it's got 2 different materials. That's why you have like orange on one side and blue on the other. I believe them. I just, both of them seem to work great, and can't really tell much of a difference. Can't really tell a difference. They just both work. Are you using different tape? Yep. Yep, for today because I forgot to buy the good stuff. So it still does the job just as well. It just doesn't stick to the paneling quite as well. So on paneling like this, they're just hard plastic, so it usually sticks to surfaces like that. It's when you get to like funny surfaces and extra dirty surfaces that you'll have some type of a problem. So there is that. All right, next window. Oh, we got the quarters to do too, don't we? Dang, forget about that. All right. Just trying to debate, do I do the quarter window now, or do I do it after? We'll do it now, because we got plastic, and I want to take the plastic off the doors, and then I don't want to cover it up again. So this is a piece from the other, or from this door still. This would cover the other side better because of that angle. What do I think about Hooper? I haven't used it, but I know some things about it. It's a different shrinking film. So you got to shrink it like 3M crystalline, or you can ghost it. Just kind of a unique product altogether. They seems like it's pretty good with heat rejection, but I haven't put it like side by side versus something else. I just kind of know about it and have known about it. Do you always use tape on felt gaskets? I'm using tape on like every gasket now. I just like to do it at this point because I don't like the time that it takes, but it's one of those little extra things that you can do that seem to help a lot. So I just tape everything now. All right, so for cutting that, I had them. And then, where did I had both of them? Oh, I put them back on the toolbox. Okay. So for cutting this, you've got a little bit of room, so just do a smidge over, like a 1/16 of an inch over. Just a little gap, because you got a little gap on the back side, and you got a little bit on the front side too. So you actually have a little wiggle room, and keep it as consistent as you can. And when you get down to the bottom here, and then go the other way. So like, you're kind of cutting down this way, and then your blade's going to a sharp angle. Flip around to this way, and then it'll be a low angle again. Would the blades pop the tire? Yeah, they could. Everything kind of falls into the cracks here, though. It's a bad habit, though. Mazda CX-5. I don't get many Mazdas. I don't have any specific recommendations for a Mazda CX-5. It shouldn't be too bad. Might pinch a little on the front doors, but I don't remember. That's the SUV one, so should be okay. Just putting stickers on windows is what we do. We're professional sticker applicators. Short front seal. Oh, that's no fun. Mazda, why you do that? Mazda is one of those brands I forget about. They exist, and then I don't hardly ever get them. I don't know why. I just don't. Kind of like Toyota. I get the Camrys, and every once in a while I'll get the truck for like front doors or something, but I just don't get them very often. Like I just spent a couple of weeks with a 4Runner in Texas, and I remember I got so many questions about it. But I wasn't about to make a video because I'm on vacation. But I drove around without tint on the front doors and the windshield for like a full week. Oh, baby. That sucked. I miss ceramic. It's really annoying because like when you're driving and the sun's pouring through, like half of your body is just getting beat to hell, and the other half is like it's all getting air conditioned, but it's like you're hot and cold at the same time. And then with like a ceramic film, you're even temperatures. Especially when you're sitting there stuck in traffic. It's just, it's miserable without it. It's been a while since I've driven without it for any extended period of time. All right, well, we got a door done, and it only took us a long time. There might have been a removal in the way, though. So, we're making good progress. We're doing real good here. So, removals are always those, like, kind of unknowns, though. So, we tackled that. We still have a strip to do. We still have the rest of the car to do. But everything's going really smooth. Ooh. City I work at, for some reason, has a lot of older vehicles. 91 Ram, 80s BMWs, all that is definitely not super fun. Yeah, all that stuff. Not fun. Michigan rusts a lot of that stuff away, so we don't see it as much. 6 months worth of salt. People buy cars out of state because they're in much better condition than here. Alligator turned him on to Expel, and I won't go with anything else on my vehicles. Well, dang. We gotta ban you now, because we're using Geo. Why do people heat shrink? We just do it for fun.
CJ Ackerman super chatted $2. What's
super
up? Oops, I slept in today. Lol, how's it going?
CJ with a 2. Slept in. What the heck? It's a work week, man. Thank you for the 2. Man, I love sleeping in. It's hard to do that with an infant, but... and when you have work to do, so. Welcome, sir. We'll just mark you as tardy for today, not absent. It's 2 a.m. here. Oh, wow. Got somebody on the other side of the globe. Probably a few people. Oh, that's Oh, Australia. And you're upside down. That's got to be fun. It's got to be fun always being on just when live streams being just at annoying times. How long does it take you to do cars outside of streaming? Depends, but generally under a couple hours. So, you know, if things are just moving along, I'll happily get done in an hour and a half. Streaming seems to add anywhere from like 45 minutes to another hour to like every job. Depending on like how things go and how distracted I get, and you know, sometimes we run into problems on stream and I do get distracted easily. There's just so many shiny things. Ooh, what's that? It's a lot. I've gotten much better at the whole thing, though. Took a lot of practice. It's kind of like, don't even realize how many cars have been done on stream, but we just keep chugging along, doing like usually like 3 cars a week on stream, and then we have a hell of a library now. How many cars do you do in a day? Here I set up 2 appointments. That is being carried over from, like, I needed to guarantee that I always had time to stream. So, like, this one, we had this was a 10 a.m., and then we have a 1 p.m., but this one is a full removal, too, so we had to kind of rearrange things a little bit. Something got slipped up. No biggie, but if I stacked them a little tighter together, I wouldn't be streaming, and you just kind of have to roll with those punches there. So without streaming, I'd book anywhere from like 3 to 4. Like at the glass shop, when you have somebody kind of helping out with the schedule too, that'll make things go a lot quicker. So you have somebody else checking in appointments. You have, you know, they book the appointments, they schedule the appointments, they check in the appointments, and then they basically just hand you the keys and tell you what you need to do. So then you can kind of just keep on going. So in those situations, it was more like I'd handle 3 or 4 full cars in a day, a couple of windshield, and 2 or 3 sets of doors. That was like a really busy day. I was wondering, because I work at a tint shop in Louisiana, we go anywhere from 8 to 10 in a day, 35 minutes per car. That's awesome. That sounds like a really good program. You got a couple people working on a car at a time, kind of an in and out program. Where that kills me is it's like you're always under pressure to keep going, and it's just like nonstop all day. So I did the same thing over at my dad's place, Auto Tint City. His place was always higher production and makes good money. Not if you're not exactly the same if you're working like a daily rate versus commission on that type of stuff. But I am not about that anymore. That was, I like spending more time. I mean, I've been a long time video creator, so that's just a passion of mine. Really fun, and messing around with all this tech stuff. How much do you, like, does a tinter make good money? That was another question that was asked. Yeah, they do. Not everybody does. Depends on where you're situated and how much you charge or what kind of deal you got at the shop that you're working with. But yeah, you can make great money as a tinter. Generally speaking, I think people kind of average at like 55. But man, I tell you, it wasn't hard for me to make way more than that. So I think as a mobile tinter working with a company, my top was like 92 in the year. But other people are taking cuts of all your work. So when you go independent, like you got more things to handle, but you can make even more than that. Some shops are really good and some are really shitty. It's a skilled trade that's hard to find people. So there's always kind of like this premium with it, or there can be. There's not everybody that thinks that way and charges that way. That's unfortunate because they're just selling themselves short. Trying to make a quick buck, but I guess they got different markets to serve, so hey. Woo-doo-doo. There's lots of ignorant companies that just like tint is tint, and they got beat up enough on price, and so they just don't charge very much, and then you get picky people and a lot of problems, and you're never making very much money to go through all that. Let me razor this bottom off one more time. Any input on how much I should pay a worker and I'm teaching them with zero experience? That's where it's really tricky because when you're paying to teach somebody, like there's people that pay to get taught. So that road goes both ways. I do something like, not to be mean to that guy, I do something a little less like 10 to 15 bucks an hour if he just needs an income to keep learning and he's a good guy, and you know he's gonna hang around, and then you know, just give him a roadmap for making good money. So he's going to go from being kind of a drag and a liability because it just takes time and you're spending money to teach him, to all of a sudden being a really healthy asset. So giving some kind of a commission incentive it would be a really, really good thing. So I always worked the best when I had a commission incentive per car. I always worked the least with just a daily rate. It's not that I didn't want to get the work done, but like when people are already paid to just sit there, they're making money whether or not there's work coming in the door. They're there to make a paycheck. You want to find people that are relatively passionate about it, but for some people it's just a job. If there's some sort of a commission tied in with like an hourly rate, now they're sitting more happy. So they're paid to be there, and then they get a boost every time that they do something. So you can get, being hourly, it's like, okay, now I need you to do things while I don't have a car here, like make sure things are picked up, inventory, and some of these extra things. Whereas if they were 100% commission, they're sitting there and they're like, well, I don't get paid to sweep. So, yeah, it just, hourly with a commission incentive, whatever you can manage. For the tinters out there, I always found the best pay was independent and not in a tint shop, unfortunately. But that's unless, like, there are a lot of edge cases where, like, people at tint shops were making great money when it's a solid tint shop operation. Like, if they are just, like, they're charging a premium, they're pulling in a lot of work, it's a great operation, you're going to be making good money in a place like that. Or should be, anyways. How much did I give them? I can't tell you exactly. That's going to vary a lot depending on how much you're charging and just what your overhead is. I mean, when I was mobile, I was making up to 50% commission, but that was 100% commission, and I have to buy the film too. When I was, like, there's other situations where it's like anywhere from, I don't know, 20 to 30% commission. Some people would be pretty happy with, especially when you tack in some sort of hourly rate, but don't shoot yourself in the foot. You gotta make money too. And shit, there's some people that'll work for 10, 15 bucks an hour and just not even know. There's these young guys that were doing full XFL PTF jobs for like 12 bucks an hour. They were still going to college. And they're just like, yeah, you know, I just started working here. They sent us down to learn paint protection film, and I don't know. It's just like, what? You have no idea what you're sitting on right now. They put out good work, too. Would tinting be a good trade? No, it's terrible. Stay away. That's why I do it. Yes, it's good. It's one of those unique fields in automotive that's not, that lower margins, higher pay, and, oh, I knocked that over. And it's still very much in demand, and it's not getting knocked out anytime soon. But it is work. 100% work. Not teaching you how to sit at home and press some buttons and then promise you're going to make $1 million next year. It's blood, sweat, and tears and little paper cuts. Little blisters from steam. Little burns from steam. I have my own tint labor business. I currently have 3 dealerships, so I have no overhead business besides tools. I'm stretching myself thin. Time to hire somebody. Yeah, and hire somebody that is immediately going to give you some type of relief. So somebody that can prep, somebody that can, like, you're going to have to teach them how to do something. Wait 1 second. Hello, Tint Studio, how can I help you? Hello? Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I was wondering, when is the next appointment you got for windows?
What was that?
I was wondering, when's the next available date you got?
Sorry, you have a lot of background noise. When a next appointment is available, I think Tuesday next week. Tuesday next week. Mm-hmm. No problem. Have a good one. What the hell were they doing? Just like beating a bunch of stuff up. There's an electric appointment available. Jesus Christ. It's like you can almost tell when it's just like, yep, mm-hmm. Have a good one. Not all the time, but a good part of the time. You're just like, oh yeah, this is going nowhere real quick. What were you talking about? Oh, yeah, we were talking about hiring. Yeah, so you need somebody. It must be the guy from last time. You need a way to salvage your time. Then you can take on more work and expand your business. So figure out the most immediate thing that somebody can handle that's going to save you some time, whether that be scheduling. Scheduling saved me a bunch of time, and now I can sit here and talk to you guys on the stream, and I don't have to answer every phone call. I don't have to respond to every message. And then people will message you at all times of the day, and it's like, you know, you want to be accommodating, but you got to have your limits too. So it's like there's just that was a big help. And then turns out he sells ceramic too. So like, hey, boom, perfect. Now he's making me more money. That's amazing. So with tinting, it's difficult because you're not going to generally hire somebody to tint right away. You're going to have to kind of teach them some stuff, generally speaking. But things is like if you just, okay, I just go and show up at these, I show up at these dealerships, they already have the work, so I don't really need to schedule much. It's just a matter of like getting in and knocking out the work. Well, then you hire an assistant and have him limp along with you and like, okay, I need you to pull this car around. Okay, I need you to clean these windows. Okay, I need you to prep this. I need you to do that. Those are quick things that you can teach somebody. And then the more time he saves you, then you start teaching him extra things that save you more time. So you start jumping on shrinking back windows and installing doors and hand cutting and whatnot. And before you know it, you got another assistant that can take on work independently, and then you're expanding your business. So the most immediate thing that they can help you with is going to be a big help. Any good invoice software? TintWiz. TintWiz, use it for scheduling and invoices and proposals. So they have really cool lead generators. So like basically an embed on your website. Somebody fills out some info and like requests like, hey, I want to get this car tinted. How much and when can I get it done? And then the proposals are super cool because you can actually like forward a pretty looking web page of information to them. So that's not just like info on your website. It's like this is what it's going to cost for your car. these are the different types of films or services that we offer. And then they get to pick what they want to go with. So it's already built for tinning, though, which is one of those unique things that is you're not going to find with something else. So they have like film information and car information, and then you can always just try it out. They have a free trial, 30-day trial that you can apparently keep extending infinitely. And they've said that too. They're just like, yeah, if you want to just keep going, just keep pushing the button, and maybe you'll pay us one day. Really, really awesome company. Nice people there. And if you have any questions, they're more than happy to help. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Hi.
Hey, is this a tint shop?
Yeah, this is the Tint Studio. How can I help you?
Hi, I was calling to get a quote.
Yeah, sure. What kind of vehicle?
2006 Audi S4 Avant.
Okay. Do you want everything with the windshield or without?
Everything with windshield.
Everything with the windshield on an S4 would be C2. It'd be 340 starting on that. Oh no, sorry, not with the windshield. That's without the windshield. You'd be looking at 400 with the windshield.
400 with windshield, and that's for the wagon.
Yeah.
Okay, and then do you guys offer ceramic?
Yes, we do. So ceramic would be. Hang on, let me get a calculator here. So it was 100 plus. So with the full thing with the windshield and ceramic would be $650.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Have a good one.
Bye. You as well. Bye.
God, it's been a minute. I need to get in that groove again. Forget. He called again. No, it was a different person. I've had two different people call about an S class, which they're S versus the A class for Audi is it's more premium. They're usually put suede on the paneling, and they're a little bit trickier, in my opinion. So, but in ceramic, hey, it's all good. Plus, it was the he said it was a wagon too, so that kind of goes straight up into SUV pricing. Yeah, with the windshield, that's where it really kicks it up a notch. Like both. We got a little sliver of what time is it? 12:44. Okay, we're doing good. Got a little sliver here. I'm trying to get out. There we go. Tore away from me. What film are you using, and what is your preferred film? So, GeoShield is my preferred film, or is what I'm using across the board. And then I think my favorite is the carbon. I mean, yeah, I love the ceramic, and I wouldn't drive with anything other than ceramic. But just for day-to-day installing and everything, I like working with the ceramic a lot, or with the carbon a lot. But at the end of the day, I'd rather put ceramic on everybody's car, so hey. Can I use Tint Wiz to send invoices to dealerships? I do. Yep. Yeah, you can send invoices to anybody with it. I actually use it for all my Glass Aid products. So I sell to a few distributors, and they asked for an invoice, and I was like, and then I used Tint Wiz. And it looks really damn good. It looks better than theirs. When's the next live? Well, damn. We're not even done with this one. Thinking. What's tomorrow? Friday? I don't think I'm streaming tomorrow, so probably Saturday. I have a 922 I gotta do tomorrow, and I just want to focus on the 922. So I don't think I'm gonna be streaming. What's for lunch? Do you guys do lunch? We usually don't. Sometimes I bring food with, but if I don't bring food, I think I have like some. I have ramen up there. I have some instant ramen I can make. That one's actually really good. I never like. Lunch is great, but lunch slows me down. So I got in this habit of like never taking lunch while I'm at work. Because it was always a punishment. It was like, yeah, you can take a lunch break. And then I would, and then there'd be like more cars to do on the board. And then so they're like, yeah, you can take a lunch break, but they wouldn't plan for it. They wouldn't schedule a lunch break. They would just like, yeah, just take your lunch. And then you're staying a half hour to an hour later, just trying to make up for what they scheduled. And you're just like, well, I'd rather not stay late and just get things done. Yeah. That's the case with like absolutely everywhere. Then they get like pizza. And pizza's great, but pizza's heavy. And then you're just like clearing through the morning, and it's just like we would have 6 invoices up on the board, and like this is all the stuff that's getting done this morning, and then we have more coming in the afternoon. You get through a bunch of it. You start clearing down those invoices. You're feeling pretty good. You take a pizza break. And the next thing you know, you're just like, I don't feel like doing anything now. And then you go back, and there's like 5 more invoices up on the board. You're like, God damn. Need to go take a nap now. Need something lighter, for sure. Pizza was always the quick and easy thing, and then it's so heavy. This carbon always slides easier for me. I miss that about some films. I got used to like Avery and Pro Classic, and like they're good. I like them. They look great. They last a long time. It's just the getting it in place sometimes drives me nuts. So I don't like having to mix 2 soaps together, but it helps fix it. But the carbon has always been like a pretty smooth installing films. That's why I like working with it a little bit more. A little bit slower to shrink, but it's very smooth, so not a biggie. Do you have good taco shops? We have Taco Bell. We have a lot of Asian here. In this area. So if you go more towards like Dearborn, we have the biggest Middle Eastern population in the U.S. So we've got a lot of good like shawarmas and stuff more out that way, and some of it is definitely out here too. So like got a lot of Middle Eastern and Asian over here. So the Korean barbecue places, like there's like 2 or 3 of them around here. There's 2 that I've been to that are just like so good. If you haven't gone for Korean barbecue, go for Korean barbecue. It's lots of meat and really good seasonings and stuff to go along with it. It's a fun experience. That's a good Taco Bell's a good taco place. That's what you were asking, right? Do you have Taco Bell? We also have Del Taco. When we were down in Texas, there was a lot of taco places. A lot of good Mexican down there for sure. Cool. Good. Doors done. Now, back glass. That Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme. I like those. We get the. Oh God, what do we get from there? Trying to think. Crunchwrap Supremes. Oh, chalupas for sure. And they've gone hard on chalupas lately. They have like 16 million different types of chalupas right now. And the potato tacos, which they got rid of. I found out about them, and then I had them for like a month. And then they got rid of them. And I was very sad, but then they brought them back. And I was like, ooh. Spicy potato tacos. They're like $1. Those are good. Those are really good. I love me some Taco Bell, but you can't beat real Mexican food. Yeah, for sure. It's totally different. It's just funny to bring up. It's like, because we definitely have like Mexican places here, but it's like, it's Detroit area. Lots of your normal fast food places and just whatever else. We have some unique eating though, but I think some of my favorites though are like Korean barbecue, ramen places are really good, and then like we kind of go back and forth between like some just unhealthy American stuff. So like burger places, like tavern type places, for like good burgers, and then lots of rice and Asian dishes. I gotta bust out that fusion heat gun here soon enough. This would have been a good one to do it on. But I have to still like tape it up and stuff. I don't want to burn myself. 300 for ceramic windshield. Oh yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, it's definitely higher, but there's so many little differences, like area, film. So just saying ceramic and just saying the price, I mean, yeah, you're definitely on the higher end of things, but you could be spending more than that on a windshield too with the right film or the right company. So here, we usually do $250 on a windshield, and then we'll sometimes knock a discount with the rest of the car. So. Yeah, that guy right down there. We gotta wrap that thing up, and we're gonna have to give it a try here pretty soon. But I don't know. We got a good video out of today, I think. So there's a Dotrix video. We went over that on the Fusion. I want to make that into a video. And then today, something simple, but like going over the different adhesive remover options and scrub pads and why I like the ones that are most common or that I'd use. That's something that could be a nice little video there. We got so many like installation videos. A lot of them get repetitive, so I want to get into tools and stuff. How often do you snap blades? Usually a full blade through like a car. Sometimes a little bit longer than that. But pretty often. You make a handful of cuts and it dulls out, so you just snap it and keep going. And then as for cutting, I tend to just do it this way. I just go in the middle, find where my line is, trail it all the way around. That way I'm not really like it's just and then come all the way back around. And then I'll connect it kind of right here. Perfect. That's what we like. Then we got extra for those quarters. We still got to do a strip. So we're making good time. Good time. I mean, it still takes time, but everything's going really smooth on this one. Potato rolled tacos. Just potatoes with a lot of things is always really good. My dad makes these really good spicy potatoes. He'll like dice them up and add some seasonings and stuff and fry them up. And those are always good. You know, side of eggs and some bacon, and then a nap afterwards. They'd be really good to put it in like a flour tortilla or something. We've got a couple blades here we need to take care of. Had a 21 CT5 dealership tinted, came out pretty good. It should be excellent. No, that's good. Happy. Wherever you can get it tinted well, that's good. Dealership programs. Dealership programs can be sketchy. So sometimes they're good, and sometimes, like, dealerships are kind of irritating to work for. So sometimes they'll have somebody that is behind the scenes getting paid hourly and just ripping through cars all day. And then sometimes they'll subcontract somebody. But dealership people generally don't make it easy for you, so glad it turned out well. Some have their shit together. Quarter window. Back glass is all prepped too. Good enough. I see a couple tiny bubbles. Should I be worried? You're usually gonna always find something. So like a speck here or there, nothing to sweat. It's not gonna get any worse. So if you're happy with the way it looks now, that's usually how that's how it's gonna stay. So dirt and stuff, like water will kind of hide it in the beginning, and then however it looks in like a day or two is how it's gonna look in the future. I'm dumb. Yeah, not so dumb now. I was almost dumb. Cutting it on the same side, you gotta flip it. I didn't flip it. So, at least I didn't get too far. I would have gotten to the point where I go to install it, and then I have two identical patterns. One of them needs to be opposite. I didn't double cut it because it's dark. Hard to see the line under 2 layers of 5. Hard enough to see it under 1. So we're just gonna do this guy right here real quick, and then we'll have 2 patterns. Sweet. There we go. Fixed. So this is my passenger side. And then my driver's side is sitting up here. Got the back glass all cut and ready to install. So we're gonna do some preppage here. And then, so we need some back windows. I had 2. One of them's floating around here somewhere already. I don't know. It's here. So, I don't want to have to grab the last one. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Well, I found where it was floating to. Cool. Don't want to lose a bunch of stuff already. That would drive me crazy. I got the different fusion blades for these too, though. So I got the orange and the blue. Orange and the blue replacement blades. I used the orange one yesterday. I think I'm just going to have to use all of them back to back to back, because I think there's hardly going to be any difference between them from, like, just It's a user perspective. Oh yeah, I got that one right here. Okay, cool. So orange, and then this is the regular side swiper blade. Cool. I have the same bulldozer. Look at that. We scrubbed it down with adhesive remover, and this is still what a clay bar is taking off. That is, can't tell you how much I like clay bars for that. So it's clean, it's just there's some residue on these defrosters still that nothing seems to take off, except a clay bar. I have the same bulldozer. One side is peeling off. No, both is good. So there is, though, if you order it from a tint tool site, like, you should be good. There are generic versions floating around, so the real one will say Bulldozer Auto on it, and the blank ones are generics. Both of them work, but the genuine one holds up much better. So if it's a genuine one and it still isn't holding up, I feel bad for you. Your supplier, though, would probably do something about it. If you're like, hey man, I just got a bulldozer and like it's already fallen apart, and because they're not the cheapest squeegee. It's like getting a fresh blade and it's leaving streaks. No fun. Yeah, so we went through this whole thing. It's gonna take me a while to find the differences between those two. Unless I talk to them and they just tell me. I don't know. They should make a green one. Come on, give me a green one. Can't be that hard. Okay, oh wait, no, let's leave this one there. We're gonna peel it from the other side. Why did I run all the way around? Treating it like a windshield. D3, what's up, man? Doing good. Staying busy. How about you? It's just like how he announced himself. Let's go. Wah. Yeah. All right. Millennium Falcon. Trench run right here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Grandpa's in the hospital with COVID. Damn. That's no fun. The tint shimmy. When you're carrying it in like that, don't try and rush too much, because you're handling a lot of film and you just kind of have to like maneuver it. Keeping the glass on the cooler side of things is going to help a lot. So it's not going to stick as quickly to when you're getting it in place. So that's kind of why I like the carbon too a little bit better for installation. Like, it's just a little easier that way. On a hot day, you could put some cold water on it too. Even like keep a towel in a bucket of cold water, throw that over the back window, and keep it and cool it down or something like that. Something I've never done, but I would have been really helpful when I was tinting outside for a video. Much love in the chat for G3. Thank you, guys. Okay. Sorry. When you look at a film too long, sometimes you scare yourself. You're just like, that's limo, right? Yes, that's limo. Have you ever tinted a semi? I have. On rare occasions, but I have. I actually have one scheduled for Wednesday of next week. Not excited. They're just kind of an obstacle course. There's not, like, you're cutting, you're shrinking, you're kind of jumping up and down a ladder, repositioning stuff. It's just kind of like getting your pattern is the hardest thing. Tinting it's not so bad. Keeping it clean because they're relatively dirty. Unique cuts, but they're not very curved. Just big, obnoxious vehicles and windows. Oh, you know what? Let me clean this off first. Scrub it. How do you not get dust on it? Carrying it in like that? You're not touching anything. You peel it, you pick it up in the air, and then you're just kind of like, that's why I kind of said like a little trench run right there. You're just trying to go slow, and like you clean the glass, you clean the sides, and you're just getting it into position. So it's a really clean way to install back windows. Because it's just not touching anything, and it's quicker. So I kind of suck at reverse rolling back windows. I learned how to do it this way, and then I had to practice a lot to learn how to reverse roll windshields. I'll reverse roll every windshield, and I'll Frankenstein the vast majority of back windows. Back windows are not quite as wide, so they're just still easier for me to do it. On a windshield, I got film flopping all over the place, and then it creates a couple of creases. Squeegee handles? The ones that I carry, they're coming back in stock as soon as they get here. I don't know, could be a couple more weeks, but hopefully they'll be here soon enough. I like using the shorties though, so if you want one that's it's like a higher quality version of that, these things, Fusion Shorty 5, these are awesome. These are like the perfect handles for me. I have like 3 of them sitting there, and I'm gonna put squeegee blades on all of them. I think I meant to buy 2, and somehow I bought 3. And then I have an extra one. So I actually have 4 extra ones right now, which is awesome. You need a mini scrub pad? Yeah, that was a little bit much. I could take a one of these and just kind of cut it down if I want to do that. I got a lot of scrub material. Can anybody tell me if TintWiz accept payments? I don't believe so yet, but they are synced up with QuickBooks. I'd imagine they're going to be working with payment processors here soon enough. But I would ask them. I don't know why. I was just talking about that yesterday with Patrick. I gave him a call. He's doing good. Good for him. But yeah, it'd be helpful if they did. I really want them to start taking deposits. Once they take deposits, it's really going to be awesome for me. So I like it a lot, and I use it all the time. But one major feature is definitely going to be collecting deposits. So if I can have somebody literally like go to the site, leave a deposit, and then basically type in their info that way. Oh, that would be so great. And then just schedule them in really seamlessly. So I have it kind of tied in with Wix Booking and Zapier to help put in their customer information, but I still have to fill out some stuff. I want it. I want to put all the burden on the customer. And it just makes it so much easier. It's like, cause we field a fair amount of like inquiries, and then so you're always weeding through people that are serious about going, and people that are just kind of like shopping around. So when we'll have a couple of people go like, yeah, I want to book for that day and that time, and then it's like, okay, we'll go here, leave a deposit, and then they'll either hang up or they'll say yes. And then they'll never leave a deposit, and then, they just don't show up, right? So when I'm working, I want to make it just, even taking out my phone and trying to type something while I'm tinting is a pain. So it's easier for me to like handle phone calls, but then to like write all their info down. So I was sending deposit links, and that worked well enough. But what really is helpful is saying, okay, so I have this spot open, and then you send them a quick text. I send them to my website, and I say, book your car for this date and time, and leave a deposit. So they, so then you get their name, their email, and a little bit of info about what's going on. And then they show up on your schedule. And then boom, there you go. You got your deposit all set. And then you were still working the whole time. So that's super nice. Oh, we got a few razors on the floor. This was a removal day. Removals will put razor blades on the floor. Also a knife. Good stuff. All right, now the last thing is we got to set this up for a windshield strip, which I think somebody jinxed me about a windshield strip because they're like, I never see you do a windshield strip. And now, next car, we have a windshield strip on. So let's get that ready here. Let's put some things, so we made a mess. Put some things back here real quick. So we're actually going to need that. I like the boxes, though. They're clean. But I'm not going to put them back in the boxes. Finally! We might have to tune out for the strip. Just a minute, like a little bit, because I'm going to have them come back here when I get it roughly set up for the strip. 120. Okay. Yep, we're doing good. Seems like everything else is good. There they are. There's that one, and there's this one. This one's the middle. Dang. Oh, that was a big one.
Dean Petrozevic super chatted $11.35. You are the tint god. Thanks for your advice, tips, hints and thoughts on everything tint-wise. These videos are wonderful and we learn so much. Also for your interaction with us. Tint Master Matt.
I'm laughing because I love hearing that voice say, like, pronounce all that stuff. Thank you so much for the 15. That's huge. You are very welcome, too. I really appreciate one. That's one hell of a super chat right there. Especially the interaction part. That's what makes these things fun, man. Everything else is like, I'm trying to make it as fun and show as much as I can within, you know, I've got to get the job done, so I'm not going to re-rig cameras all the time. But, yeah, being able to, like, actually turn this into a hangout, that has been super fun. So I'm glad you like it. Thank you so much for that super chat. You are very welcome. I appreciate all the support from you guys, too. I mean, it obviously shows you guys like this kind of stuff, too. So that's a huge win. I brainstormed this for a very, very, very long time. This took me years of trial and error to kind of come up with. Maybe you can have a guest. I'd like to, and I'd like to have some sort of a topic to go along with it. I remember I talked to Alligator, about he still does his mobile gig, and it's done really, really well for him. So there was like a topic that came up that we wanted to kind of talk about. So now we can absolutely plan for something like that. What's cool is I'm here more now. So those 2 days a week, that kind of really put a wrench into things. So there's some ideas that I had. But then at the end of the day, it's like, I just got to kind of continue to get work done. It became really difficult. Just like a lot of things would sit on the back burner. So hopefully with this extra time, those extra things will start to happen. That's cool. I don't know how big this has to be. I'm going to guesstimate wrong. This is probably going to be a little long. I'm new to tinting. My brother's tint, and I'm struck. Learning so much from this. Yeah, that was the comment. That was really cool. If you're trying to learn tint, you should be watching these, just flat out. There's lots of good content, lots of good videos and explanations, and everything's kind of out there for sure. And there's some good programs. This is just another thing that absolutely, if you're trying to learn. Oh yeah, we're like way big. Oh, this one's not going to be very curved. That's super cool. If you're learning how to tint, man, I remember I didn't care who was tinting. I was watching them tint too. And then I would just watch what they do, and it was always interesting to see how other people tinted. So if you went to a tint class,
Ackerman super chatted $5.
It was awesome.
Medical disposable containers, red ones, work really well for blades. I can send an Amazon link if you want. Used them for past 2 years. It's a 3-pack.
Post it in the Facebook group. Oh, dang. 2 super chats. Oh, shit.
Jeff Underwood super chatted $14.99, matched before Jose
like to hear him.
does. Plus, I agree with Dean. I learned a ton of information and gain more interested in the automotive tinting industry. From a future tint
Dang,
guy,
you guys.
cool face.
Oh, that was awesome. Medical disposal containers. So CJ with the 5, thank you very much. Post it in the Window Tint Stuff Facebook group. That's a great place to do it. Sometimes links are funny here, but you can definitely post a link here too. And then Jeff Underwood with the 15, matched Jose. I agree with Dean, learned a ton of information, gained more interest in the automotive industry and future tint guy. That's super cool. Glad to hear it. Thank you guys for all the love. I really appreciate it. All right, where do we want to put this? Okay, so I'm gonna put the camera down here for a sec. And then, so for a windshield strip, if I got the client here, what I like to do is kind of line it up about where I think is helpful, and then get feedback on if they need it any higher or lower, because that's always personal preference. And what's cool about this is it actually is lining up pretty straight, and that was something he was hoping for. So let me do this right here. So I just got to set this down for a minute, and I'm gonna take care of that, and we'll be back to just cut out the strip. What time is it? 1:30. Perfect. All right. Still streaming. Do you want to check out this strip first? Awesome. Yeah, a little bit. But so it's easiest to tell on the inside, right? But this is approximately where I think is a pretty good spot. It's a little on the glass kind of like slopes a little bit, so it's a little bit maybe lower, but we can make it even more if you want. Either way is perfectly fine.
I think actually I want it a little bit higher.
A little higher? No problem. Just tell me when.
Keep going,
Yep.
keep going. Maybe touch more, just a touch more.
A little more? Okay, yeah, no problem.
Right there.
Good?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
That kinda
I'll line
keeps
up
it
the other side, and then we'll be all good to go. So probably an extra like 15, 20 minutes at the most, and then good to go.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and this one is turning out really straight too.
Yeah,
so-
I heard you saying, yeah. it looks-
Yeah, I thought it was gonna curve. Yeah, looks like it's going pretty straight across for you, so
Sweet.
it'll look good. What's up? Can I get a sip of coffee here first? What are the benefits of doing a windshield in 2 pieces and not one? So for the strips, you don't need to do in 1 piece, and on this one it'd be impossible. So I can definitely make a comment about that. I just gotta make sure they're lined up. So on a lot of modern windshields, they put so many things in the middle now that are all covered by this like border here.
CJ
So,
Ackerman
luckily
super
we
chatted
have two
$2.
AS1
Window tint
lines.
stuff group for
I
link.
think it's
Just posted.
it definitely is off center here, so it's not in the middle entirely. But yeah, you're gonna do 1 piece here, 1 piece here, line both of them up, and you're doing it on a like you can use a shorter roll that way and just kind of like split it in half. So I used a shorter length of film rather than take a 24-inch roll, stretch it across the whole thing. I just took that same roll, cut it in half, and then I'm using less film, getting it all done now rather than holding a piece for later on. CJ with the 2. Window tint stuff link just posted. Thank you. I appreciate that. That group has just gone crazy. It's such a helpful resource now. We just hit 26,000 people have joined the group. And here's a fun fact. Apparently people can go tint viral in it. So we had somebody make a post that did over 2 million people reached on it. Absolutely insane. And they started a trend. Other people are starting to do the roll down window trend. That's fun to watch. Who knew we're gonna make tinting cool? Make it mainstream. Okay, so then we just cut out one side, cut out the other, get them both to match up on the outside, and then we just layer them in on the inside in the same spots that we put them on the outside. So you don't have to cut them both out at the same time. You could do the one there, and then do the other one. I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't sure if that was a personal or if that was actually a business call. It always says unknown. It's really annoying. What was that? What Geo Shield shrinks the best? Okay, so they all shrink very well. Side by side. I think the Pro Nano Ceramic and the Pro Nano Ceramic is probably second. The Pro Classic is first, and the C2 is third. But they're all really, really smooth shrinking, and the ceramic is very fast shrinking for ceramic, like a really fast shrinking ceramic. No shrinking problems across the board.
Jose Reyes super chatted $20. Nobody will out tip me. LMFAO tint removal sucks, man. It's a ton of work. Lunch is on me, Matt.
Aw, damn. Thank you so much for that. The lunch is on you too. Yeah, tint removal's no fun. Nobody's gonna out tip them. You know, when we started doing super chats, like there was a super chat war very early on. That was crazy. It almost seemed like one was happening again. All good, either way. Lunch is on him. But I don't get lunch. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll get good food to take home. For me and my wife. And my son can have some too. A little bit. Some still good.
D3 kills easy super chatted $50. Keep the grind going.
Whoa.
And you'll be top dono for the day. Have to get back to work.
Damn! D3 kills. Pulling out the 50. Thank you so much. That's a huge one, especially considering I fucked up your windshield. Thanks, man. Yeah, things are going well here. I'm just happy to be able to keep doing what I do. Ugh. Unfortunately, I should do these late, because then people wouldn't have to do these through working hours. But it is a business. On Geo, would you recommend the Orange Crush or the White Clear? I like the Clear Crush more. I'm currently using the Hybrid, so I would get the Hybrid over both of those now. Hybrid is the smoothest one. It really is. It glides on this film so nicely. Keep the grind going, and I'll be top dono for the day. You know, I don't know who is the top dono because there was quite a few. You know, there was a bunch yesterday, and I'm sorry, I totally forgot to shout out super chats yesterday. So we're gonna shout out yesterday's and today's at the end of the stream. So really sorry about that. Didn't even realize that I missed them, and then I ended it. And then I was reminded after the fact. I was like, oh no, I don't like to miss that at all. Felt like it ended quick. We're gonna try the a couple more blades though. We're gonna try the red line and the black one, just for kicks and giggles. Where do you get the hybrid? Same places that you get all the other ones. So you can find them Tint Depot or Sun Distributing. Alright, so we're a little bit below the AS1 line, and then the other point that you want to make sure is lined up is straight across. So we're looking pretty good. Sometimes when they off-center these, especially with a funny cutout like this, like why, Ford? Why you do that? Every manufacturer kind of does this to some extent, but I don't get why they make like weird contoured cutouts like that. Just like make it all the same. It's where like an engineer loses touch. There we go. But it's okay. So all it does for window tinting is like make that off center, and with that curve, that off center curve is gonna line up in a different spot. But it's really subtle on this one, so it's not that big of a deal. I just am annoyed that they filled this with dots and yuck. I want to talk to a glass designer one of these days. Why you do this? Oh, by the way, I have the dash protector too that I tested out yesterday and was amazing. I have to take it home and throw it through the wash because I heard something. So stay tuned for that. But we'll be using that here again soon, I think, as long as that holds up in the wash. But it was impressive. When I had people ask if I had tried it, I kind of like, I didn't think much of it because kind of came out of the blue, and one sewed together didn't sound very impressive. Like it was just kind of like, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll get around to it. And then I used it, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I had a super easy time putting that in. And I did a Durango yesterday. So if you guys have done a Durango, same thing with the Rams and Chargers and 300s. You can have BCM issues, so you want to make sure everything's covered up on those. Ooh, look at that. See? We did strip. Put in both sides, line them up, wipe it down, good to go. Pretty straightforward. And I always like to ask what they want for a windshield strip, because that is totally personal preference. You want it higher, you want it lower. I'll give my best guess, but everybody's going to be different on that. What kind of can are you running on the back of the stick? It's just all stock. It's nothing special. I gotta get rid of it. I'm not a fan of the thing being in the way. I like the I just like to tuck and towel it. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. What drives me crazy is like I'll throw a soak rope in there, no problem. And then I'll try and shove a towel in there, or I'll add both of them together, and then I'll use like a scrubby or something, and then it's just like I'm pushing the towel all over the place. And then with that curve, it just kind of all fell in and stuck together. So I was just really happy with the way it kind of covered everything up and how easy it was to put in there. But then I got a phone call yesterday after I told somebody to carry them. And then they were like, we tried the first one and it fell apart in the wash. We absolutely loved it, but it fell apart in the wash. So try this one and let us know what happens. And I was like, oh, okay. Because that's a really good thing to know that I wouldn't have thought of until all of a sudden everybody was buying them, and then $130 later you're wasting them in the wash. Have you ever done mobile jobs? Absolutely. Ran mobile for quite a long time. Any tips? Mobile's tough. Mobile, like, you're constantly packing up and relying on everything that you have on hand. Best part is, like, best thing I can tell you is always go inside and just try and keep a medium-sized toolbox that you store everything in, and use the car as your peel board. You can always rely on the car. You can never rely on the places that you're tinting at. And then keep airflow down. But you can definitely put out good work all over the place. But it comes with its own challenges, for sure. I've seen the rope being used. Does it not lift the film when you're removing it? It can. That was another thing that drives me crazy about the rope. So a little trick to help is, like, the worst spot for the rope is the bottom corners. That's where it always pinches the most. So what I end up doing is I'll take something like this and I'll sneak it on top of the rope, and then I'll pull the rope out and just kind of shimmy it across. And that way you're holding the film down and sneaking that rope out. But it still can get dicey sometimes. What was interesting about the towel was that it seems like, because it's all kind of like sewn together at the ends, you're pulling these things out together, and you're kind of pulling this out evenly. And this seems to be like a little bit of a thinner soak rope here. So you're just kind of sneaking it out together. It worked really, really well. So it wasn't the tightest dash ever. Durango's not, like, gives you a fair amount of space on the sides and enough on the bottom, but it's still kind of like intermediate. Tons of water issues too. So, like, no issues with check engine lights or anything afterwards. Did you struggle with weather when you were mobile? How did you deal with it? Always tint indoors. So being mobile doesn't have to mean tinting outside. One of the best ways, like, because we are in a cold state, so we have temperature problems a good part of the year. Also, come on, sprayway with these tops now. Thank you. Look at that. Just yes, please. I misplaced those caps all over the place. So, the way that I liked mobile the best was you partner up with some companies and you go and handle their tint work. So they have a spot for you and they book appointments and you come in and you knock it out. So you give them a day a week, see how they do, and you say all your work for the week needs to be booked on this day. That way they're kind of funneling all their leads into one time frame for you. You don't go out there, do a job, leave, come back later that day, do another job, and then run somewhere else, because then you're just packing up and running around all over the place. The challenge with doing it that way is that you're not really making a name for yourself. Not unless you can get them to somehow advertise you too. Like, yeah, our tints are done by blah, 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 blah. So me and Alligator actually had a really good conversation about that. Because he went the route where he was Alligator from the very beginning, and he was going to people's houses. That has different logistic problems because people that say that they have a garage don't always have space in that garage. So that's always a unique thing too. So I would never, long story short, I would never recommend tinting outside. You're creating too many problems for yourself. Find a way to tint indoors. Dang! And with that, actually, we're good. Whew! Much prettier. So, as you remember, there was a gap here. It's not there anymore. There's no dirt that ran all the way across there. Not there anymore. It's all clean. Back glass had some significant creases. No more. And all around looking much, much, much better. Just saw one little thing. When you're trying to learn, it's hard enough to learn tinting inside. So tinting outside is very difficult. Oh yeah, and we added a strip to it. So, dang. What a difference. Oh yeah, and that top edge on the other side was hacked off because it peeled. Whew, a lot of work, but well worth it. So we are much better off now. So, Canon. Oh, this is falling off. Did you save the defrosters? Yes. No defrosters were damaged in this one. So peeling that film, it came off pretty easily, and then we used glass-safe scrub pads. You never can 100% guarantee defrosters because if you start peeling that film and it just comes off with it. But generally speaking, they're fine. More often than not, they're completely fine. It's only when you have to scrape really bad film and you have a really old, trashy job that you might damage the defrosters in the removal. So most of the time, they're made pretty well, and you peel it, and they're fine. Okay, we got to shout out some Super Chats, and I get another appointment that's going to be coming in here very soon. So, let me pull up that list. No defrosters were harmed in the making of this video? Absolutely. Crappy dyed films, crappy ceramics, crappy carbons, could have been any number of things. All right, so starting from back to front, we're going all the way into yesterday too. Well, there's a bunch, because I forgot yesterday. So huge shout out to D3 for the 50. Jose with a whole bunch of them too. Good God. CJ, Jeff, Dean, CJ, Jose, Daniel, Dean, Daniel, Jose, Daniel, Jose, Daniel, Jose, Alligator, Washington, Daniel, Jose. So there's two Joses here too, father and son. Daniel, Boss, Swole Gang, LKB, Swole Gang. Thank you guys so much for the support, both today and yesterday. I mean, that's just huge. I'm really, really happy to be here. This is actually the first full week that I'm here without having to run to a glass shop anymore. So back from a vacation, and then just now I can focus on this place. So that's really, really awesome for me. So thank you for helping out. You guys help make it possible to continue to do streams like this, which take a significant amount of time, but are well worth it, and I'm glad you guys have fun. So we will be back probably on Saturday. Tomorrow I got to focus on a 922, so I don't think I'm going live. That is just going to take me a while to do. And then Saturday, I don't know. I have some appointments booked, but I don't know which one I'm going to stream. So stay subscribed, keep your notifications on, and I'll be back for that. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you Saturday. In the meantime, check out the Facebook group, Window Tint Stuff, on Facebook. We just crossed 26,000 people, and we're probably into 27 right now. It's just blowing up like crazy, which is super cool. So, quick shout out. If you guys make videos, I will pin them to the top. So it's my way of trying to get you guys extra exposure too. It's run by the community. So I'm really, really thankful to be able to, like, it's just kind of exposure for everybody. It's super cool. Everybody's got a fair shot there. So a lot of fun. So go post there, chat with other tinters, have a good time, make some memes. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.